everyone, and welcome to Alpha Square. This is the first park I've built in Prehistoric Kingdom, and actually the first thing I've really built in any modular building kind of game. This park took me 80 hours, so although I still consider myself very much a beginner in comparison to like Planet Zoo veterans, I think the training wheels are ready to come off, so I'm gonna show you this park. Hopefully you'll see something you like, something that inspires you for your own build, and the next step will be to start the first proper park building series for Prehistoric Kingdom on the channel. If you're down for that, subscribe to the channel, and if you have ideas for the park we will be building next, share those in a comment down below. Also, stay tuned, because at some point during this video, I'll be giving instructions on how you can enter a Prehistoric Kingdom Alpha giveaway. And since it's an expensive giveaway, I gotta milk it for all it's worth, alright? So, I'm not gonna give away the goods right up front, you'll have to watch the video in full. And if you're a real one, a real fan of the channel, and you've been wondering where I've been, if Thanos has snapped me out of existence, stick around until the end. I'll talk a little bit about that. We'll get personal, but this intro has already dragged on long enough, so let's look at this park. I mean, the park took 80 hours to build, and I kind of feel like the tour may be just as long, but I'll try to be as quick as possible, but also show you all of the work that I've put into it. We arrive in our park through the void. And we start our tour at the entry square of Alpha Square Park. Around this central rock formation you can already see the first dinosaur area, which is the T-Rex Kingdom. All dinosaur areas do start with an arch just like that one, but we're not going to go in quite yet. We're going to walk around a little bit first in this section of the park. We're going to go over here, and this first thing coming up is the Microraptor Barn, which is one of the first buildings I built, and it used to be quite a bit more complicated than it is now, but I accidentally deleted the entire group it was in, so I had to start over. So my second run through wasn't very motivated, let's call it that. So we go in through the doors, and here's the Microraptor walkthrough exhibit. We can exit on this far side, but we're not going to do that. That's just going to be confusing for the layout, so we're going to go back out. I'm a little high, actually. I think this is more true perspective. So there you go, back through the doors. There's another section, the Styraco corner. You can see a viewing platform in the distance over there. Again, we're not gonna go there, not yet. We have these little information signs all over the park. I felt like that added a touch of realism. I just copy-pasted them all over the place. I prefer to call it efficient as opposed to lazy. Now, the building on our left is the cinema, but we're gonna go to our right first. We have a guest section with a water feature, just where people can rest their feet for a little bit. We have a nice view of Styraco corner over here as well. Some benches to rest, a T-Rex cafe where people can pay way too much money for a sandwich and a cup of tea. And yeah, like I said, a cinema. So it's a pretty big building. I envision that this is like this continues underground, where it has, you know, the theater seating, big screen, big curved screen, and they show, you know, documentaries that are both educational and entertaining about the de-extinction of dinosaurs, walking with dinosaurs type of documentaries, fossil digs, you know, stuff like that. Because I figured a park that only has access to 6 dinosaur species, they would try really hard to make more attractions in their park. So that's why I figured they would have a cinema with that plays documentaries. So people complain less about the entry price for the park. So this is the other side of the cinema. Discover past and future. There you go. I'm like not the most proud of the building, but I guess it's okay if we go up like that here. You have a top view. Interestingly, if I were to press play, eventually guests would be walking on the roof. I don't know how that works, but that's what happens. Also, just keeping it on pause helps with the frame rates. Here we have just a cute little pond, a Pato apparel. We have the Lambeo badlands you can see in the background over there, and Nasuto Nirvana, but we're not gonna go there quite yet. We're gonna keep walking around. Another entry point to the Lambeo badlands. We're gonna go to through the Flora tunnel. Then on this side, this is the other side of the Microraptor Barn. Turn around, we have a restroom. Over here, or over there I should say, we have the Museum of Generic Things. Again, I'm just assuming that a park with limited dinosaurs would find other ways to entertain the guests, and a museum would be an appropriate way to do that. You know, display some fossils or stuff. I'm assuming they would have access to some fossils and things like that. Over here we have cute little mural for Prehistoric Kingdom. This is just me being autistic and enjoying tedious tasks, because boy, it was tedious, but I do like creating little moments like this in the park, little visual interests. And right here, we're back at where we started, so we can go into the first section, which is the T-Rex Kingdom. It's also the first section that I built. Here we have the result of another tedious chore, but I do really like the result, and that's the T-Rex skull. It's made entirely of periods. Here is the first bridge I built, which isn't really a bridge, but I didn't know yet we could build real bridges. Here we have the view on one side, and here's the view on the other side. I can't lie, I'm pretty proud of that building. It is my modern pagoda viewing tower. It's built around an ancient dead tree to sort of preserve it. It doesn't match anything else in the park in terms of building styles, but I really liked how it turned out. It was a pain to create the steps, so I'm not gonna delete it. It's gonna stay right there. Alright. We're just gonna move on. We have another store. We have another T-Rex cafe. A little guest section over here as well. The path does this a lot, by the way, which is why I don't switch path types very often, just to avoid that. A little seating section, and a pretty nice view. We can see the museum in the distance. But of course we're here for dinosaurs, specifically for the T-Rex in this instance. So this is the very first exhibit that we are seeing. Also the very first exhibit that I built. I actually built this exhibit largely during a live stream, like 2 weeks ago, something like that. So if you're interested in seeing that, seeing me fumble with the modular building for the very first time, then you can check that out. Here are the fluffy Rexes. Very fluffy. Now initially the shelter was over there, and again you can see that in the live stream it was a very ugly building, so I decided to delete that and replace it with a shelter over there. That would be literally the second building I ever built, so it's still not great, but from the other side it looks pretty cool, and we will be seeing it from the other side, so people can just, you know, take a seat over here, watch the scenery. I think it looks pretty nice. I mean, I feel like it's difficult to make something ugly in this game because it's just gonna look great by default. The autosave always scares me very, very, very much because my game does tend to crash on the autosaves, but it went alright, so I'm happy about that. We're just gonna continue. We're gonna ignore what's to our left for the moment, and we're gonna go continue through in the T-Rex Kingdom. We have a big bridge crossing over an exhibit over here. Ooh, wow, speedy camera. Oh, they're there. They are in the trees. Yeah, so just a big bridge. What? Yeah, so, my bridge has no pillars. My bridge is supposed to have pillars. I think I know what went wrong. I think the same thing as with the Microraptor exhibit. I make the mistake of continuing to build on the other side of the park while I'm still in the group of a certain building. And then I forget. So then I delete something because I don't like it, and without realizing it, I've actually deleted an entire group, and I don't see it until now, until I'm doing a tour and I'm seeing that my bridge is floating. So yeah, the pillars were probably part of some other thing that I ended up deleting. We might encounter some ghosts of other things that have been deleted by accident. Just ignore it. That's definitely something I need to be mindful of for the next build. Another information sign. Over here we have the other side of that T-Rex shelter for the fluffy Rexes. I'm a little bit high, sorry. I'm gonna go down. This camera mode, by the way, is far superior. Just press T to change the perspective of the camera. It's much easier to move around like this. But here they can be peeping toms and look into the nighttime enclosure for the fluffy Rexes. We can go over here. This exhibit used to house T-Rex named Bipin. Bipin disappeared. Like, Bipin straight up just disappeared off the face of the earth. At some point, when I loaded into the game, none of the dinosaurs were in their exhibits. They were on the streets. They were out in the wild. They were all over the place. Oh, there he is. And I put everyone back in, but I could not find Bipin. Bipin is somewhere, but I could not find him. So there's that. So this is the T-Rex over there is replacement Bipin. But anyway. What I did over here, and I think that's pretty cute, I feel like it might be a good tip, a good takeaway for you for your own parks, is I blended two T-Rex cafes together by building like a little section in between them, and it looks fairly seamless this way. And I just think it's an interesting way of expanding the building itself and making it a little bit more varied instead of just plopping down a T-Rex cafe all over the park. Anyway, we're just gonna continue. The frame rates are really bad. I'm sorry about that. It is a big park, though. It's a very big park. I did my best. Here we have a cute little Japanese-inspired bridge, and then we go over, and this is the Tarbosaurus viewing platform. Now, these platforms I started to recycle, and I justified it by telling myself, you know, it creates sort of a unified design for the park. To have similar viewing galleries, similar viewing platforms, and it was just easy. After a while, I didn't have to come up with new designs and stuff like that. So these are the Tarbosaurus. Yeah, the Tarbosaurus. Well, there they are. There it is. And actually, I'm gonna go back over here. Lou, there you go. Because we can also go in here. Might be a little bit tricky to go. Ooh, oh, no, that's too low. Sorry. So on this side, we are actually looking into what would have been Bipin's shelter. Now, the rocks don't have any texture on the inside. So when you look at them from the inside, they are see-through, unfortunately. So, you know, just imagine that most of this wall is clad with rocks. You can see the outline of them. It looks a little weird right now, but that was just the idea behind it. And then the roof. Oh, I should have replaced the roof tiles with something more realistic than glass because it's overgrown with foliage. But anyway, we're just gonna pretend that it's perfection. We're gonna go over here. Oh boy, there's a T-Rex going through the glass. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Either PETA or, you know, guest injury lawsuit. Anyway. Over here, they can look into the Tarbosaurus shelter. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, one glass building is kind of like a glass cube, but it has some natural textures going around. And they can look into two nighttime enclosures. I can actually go back and up so you can see the building. There you go. So yeah, it's really just a rectangular glass thing with rocks. But I thought it was pretty nice, and I like it. I like that blend of the natural with like hyper modern. I think that's pretty cool. So we're going down so we can resume on foot. Now, one of the things that I really want to improve on for the next park is this park has quite a few dead ends. And I don't personally like that very much. I feel like, oh god, oh, speedy. I feel like there shouldn't be that many dead ends. Everything should loop nicely instead of having to double back all of the time. So we're going to go into Styraco Corner, but we're going to go in over here. Because another thing I like doing is kind of expanding on the existing buildings, because we don't currently have a lot of existing buildings, and it's just easier than starting from scratch. Like the cinema and the museum I built, which we'll be visiting later, those I built from scratch, but that's really difficult, and I'm certainly not up to snuff yet. I still need to learn a lot about that. But expanding on the existing buildings is really easy. Just use the same kind of materials. And so like what I've done over here is I've added like a little tower with a rooftop terrace on top to sort of expand the T-Rex Cafe. And instead of it being a T-Rex Cafe, or two of them, it's the Nom's restaurant, because I'm a creative genius and an adult. But yeah, it's just the same idea as what I did with the T-Rex Cafes overlooking Bipins exhibit, or fake Bipins exhibit. Yeah, I've added them together. Wow, I'm just losing my train of thought right there. And I hid the T-Rex Cafe signs with like these little things over here. And that just, it creates a different, it creates a different function for the building, I suppose. As opposed to a cafe, it is an actual restaurant. And over here, as opposed to a restroom, this would be a very dark and ominous gift shop. There, this is more guest level. So I just hit the restroom sign with something else to repurpose the building. And I think that's, for the moment, a fairly good idea to make your parks more varied. So I wanted to share that. So we're going to go over here. Here we have some more ugly clipping and Z fighting. And here's another one of those viewing platforms. We have the Styraco skull. Every dinosaur I've made a skull like that for, because currently there aren't that many decorations in the game, and that's fine, it's only alpha. But I wanted to add something, and I thought that was pretty cool. So here we have the view of the first Styraco exhibit, and I've done the same as with the T-Rexes, even though I'm pretty sure most of the T-Rexes are just Tyrannosaurus. There's no different species between them. We have the Tarbosaurus, of course, but the rest are just T-Rexes, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the same goes for Styracosaurus, Nasutoceratops, and I also think Lambeosaurus. I think they're all the same species. They just have different skin types. But what I reasoned is, again, if a park has only 6 animals, essentially, or 7, essentially to show, they would do the most to get the most out of that. So I figured, if scientists would find a way to come up with different skin variants, they would show those in different exhibits to expand upon their own park, essentially, and make it seem grander than it really is. That's kind of the idea behind it. So every every skin variation of dinosaur has its own exhibit. Oddly, with the exception of the Edmontosaurus actually does have different species, but I did that last and I got a little bit lazy, so they share an exhibit, but we'll get to that last, okay? So this is a nice view. We cross the bridge and we see 2 Styracosaurus exhibits. This bridge I repeated several times as well. It's very basic. One of the first builds I did. I'm not necessarily proud of it, but it was just an easy way to cross the many rivers. So here you go, Styraco, Nasuto, little arrows pointing the way. So we're still in the Styraco section. Here again, this is a Napato apparel store, but I really easily turned it into a toy store. And honestly, I'd recommend you do the same just to add like a tiny bit of variety in your buildings for the time being. Here you go. What's better than double fencing? Triple fencing. There you go. We're gonna go over here. I'm gonna go straight across first. Here we have 2 more viewing platforms. We're walking by the exhibit over here. Nice. This is my favorite tree, by the way. 80 hours, and what I found is I have favorite trees, I have favorite rocks, I have favorite bushes, all of that sort of stuff. Anyway, so this is the view from this platform, and what's kind of cute is that when we go like this, the shelter is underneath the viewing platform. I thought that was kind of a cute thing. We also have just a pretty view over this. It's a little bit unfinished in the distance, but, you know, it's already been 80 hours. I kind of wanted to be done with this park, to be perfectly frank. Let's quickly move over to the other side. Here you go. Styraco. Here we have a view of just a huge exhibit. This could probably be like a bigger herd or something. But yeah, I needed to fill the space, and I feel like they would, you know, if this park was real, they would just fill the space, make it seem bigger than it was. We have a semicircular sort of glass bridge over here. Here you can see the ground down below. And this also just overlooks the big exhibit. A lot of the buildings was just, you know, experimentation with how it works. Like, this is experimentation with how you make circular buildings. That's also a technique you'd use for domes and stuff like that. It's a practice park. It really is a practice park, and it shows in some ways. So over here we have the night enclosure viewing. So we're gonna go down over here. We have a little guest section at the back of the toy store. We have another overgrown roof here. And we're gonna go down. Whoa, speedy camera. There you go. And from here we can actually see another species of dinosaur, the Nasuto Ceratops. And if we go over here, we can look into the Styracosaurus exhibit. So I thought that was pretty cool. And also over here, oh, and there's one in here. That's really excellent. Look, it's so cute. Yeah, the interior is split into 2. So on that side, that would be the Nasuto Ceratops shelter, and this side is the Styracosaurus shelter. And guests can, you know, walk in and see both sides. And then these doors would only be accessible for staff, and they can go down and go into the enclosures like that. At least that's like the idea. We have skylights. Okay, let's go back. Oh boy, oh sorry about that. Sorry, still getting used to the camera. This camera mode is far superior though. Just press T. Not for building, but for touring. This really helps. Oh boy. And just as I complimented, we fly to the moon. Going down. First floor, women's underwear. Down. There you go. Yep. Alright, moving on. So that was actually already the entire Styracosaurus section, or a Styraco corner as I called it. Now we're going to go over to Nasuto Nirvana. Here we have the T-Rex Cafe, which is by the cinema. So we've already been here, but we're going to take a different route. Now this is a really big canyon, and it has a lot of rocks. It was a lot of work. But again, it's just all experimentation. I wanted to do something else. I didn't want it to be all just, you know, luscious green tropical, which is why Nasuto Nirvana is pretty different. Lambeo Badlands is obviously Badlands inspired. But Nasuto Nirvana is a little psychedelic. I guess you'll see. First of all, we have this cool glass bridge that I'm fairly proud of. We have a nice view of the canyon over here, Styraco Corner. There is a restaurant which has been completely remodeled to look different from other restaurants, which I really enjoy doing. But we'll go over there later. First, Nasuto Nirvana, sorry. Again, a skull. This is like an interesting viewing thing. Like, my buildings aren't the best, but this I still need to learn a lot. But this is the first floor. They can go in and have. Oh, look, he's in the water. Oh, it's like a horny hippo. Anyway. Oh boy, I am 12 years old. Anyway, so they can go on the first floor, but they can also go up to the second floor to get a better view of the exhibit. So they'd walk over here, and they would go up. Dun, 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 dun. Taking a little bit of a shortcut. They go, and they can go over here and have a really cool view of this exhibit. And I think you can kind of see what I mean when it's more psychedelic, it's more dreamlike, it's a little bit less realistic. You know, with the oversized, colorful plants. There's also custom trees in here with flowers, just to sort of sell that Nirvana theme. Because I couldn't come up with anything else to name the Nasuto section. I'm just being honest here. I'm just being honest. Okay, so we're gonna walk through. Oh, this is actually the custom tree that I mentioned. So it's one of the dead trees with bushes and flowers added to it, and I think it looks pretty nice. I think it looks pretty cool. Here's the other exhibit on the other side. Whoa, going down. Looks pretty nice, right? The grass texture is lacking. I think that's because this park is so full of stuff that it's starting to become a struggle. There aren't that many blades of grass left, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so we're gonna move on, and this is the final part of Nasuto Nirvana. Going up, going up, going up. Here you go, another viewing platform, and this looks out over the big Nasuto plains. In the back would be the big Styraco exhibit, and you can see over there, this is the nighttime enclosure that we were in earlier. So there you go, that's it. I guess we can fly up for a little bit so you can see the top, see this section from above. So really that's the three exhibits in this section. Alrighty. Let's go back. This is not a very professional tour, is it? We're just gonna fly over here. Alright. And down, boy. Next up, Lambeo Badlands. Over here you can see the Canyon Cafe, not the T-Rex Cafe. Actually, I think from the other side it does still say T-Rex Cafe. Let's have a look, actually. Yeah, I got lazy. But yeah, it's just built on the cliffside of the canyon, so it looks into it. I added this terrace at the front to make it quite a bit bigger, have more seating outdoors. This interesting architectural feature, which does absolutely nothing other than look kind of cool, I guess. And it just looks different from the other T-Rex cafes. So again, I really think that's a good tip to get more buildings into the game for the time being. Going down, going down, going down. Here we have a big indoor thing. We're not going to go through this entry because this is technically the exit, I suppose, or back entry. So this is the Lambeo Badlands. Here we have the Lambeo Overlook, again with one of those skulls. And here you go. Across the canyon are our first type of Lambeosaurus. Ooh, scary. I feel like in a real park the fences or the banisters would be much higher. But anyway, so yeah, it's just, it was fun doing something different with the exhibits, you know, using like the muddy water, using sand and rock as opposed to grass, stuff like that, different rock colors. I thought it was, you know, a really nice variation. And yeah, it's not the most realistic to have this close to the lusciousness that is the rest of the park, but whatever. Whatever. Okay, going back down. There are more Lambeos, but I guess we can go in here first. Alrighty. Hey there, that's a good height. Alright, so we're gonna go through here. Oh, forgot to add a door there. Never mind that. Oh. And here we go. We are in sort of like an indoor, tropical, luscious, botanical gardens type of thing. Really, it doesn't really... there are Microraptors in here. They're on the other side, but we're gonna make a loop around. So, you know, it would be like... it would be more for kids, I suppose. You know, you can walk over these logs over here so you can cross... You know, a fun type of adventure style thing. This is the other entry point or exit point, depends on how you want to see it. Here they can walk over the log. It has a rope next to it just for support. So you can better balance as you cross the log. Here you go. Oh, I passed the Microraptors. Here you go. Here we have the Microraptors hidden away. Hello. Everything's paused, so it's kind of eerie, actually. And we have just a section in the middle, glass floors, where people can have a rest, or I suppose parents would sit here and watch over their kids as they're playing or whatnot. To be perfectly frank, I didn't think this through that carefully, but I really enjoyed making this huge building. And I just wanted to use it, I suppose. I guess that's the best thing I can say to justify it. And I guess this is the point where I should introduce the giveaway. So I'm gonna do that right now. I have an extra alpha key for Prehistoric Kingdom. Why? Because I bought the Ranger Alpha tier for the game. Because I wanted to have the game. Obviously, I wanted to play it. So I bought that. It's 85 bucks. It was very expensive. But I wanted to have this game as soon as possible. So that's why I bought it. But much to my surprise is the people from Prehistoric Kingdom, from Crytivo, were actually nice enough to give me free access to the alpha version of the game because I'm a content creator. So that was really awesome of them. And it was really nice. But it really surprised me because... Well, I already bought an alpha key and I couldn't return that. So I figured I'll do a giveaway with that. So that's the story behind it. That's why I have an extra key to give away. And to enter the giveaway, what you gotta do is you gotta leave a comment on this video and give a name for this thing, this building. What should it be named? Because it doesn't have a name yet. So just think of a name. Comment that down below and be publicly subscribed to the channel. And I know that a lot of people have their subscriptions hidden, but I will check. So if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel and make sure that your subscriptions are public so I can check that you are indeed subscribed to the channel. And then I'll just pick a person at random. You know, think of a good name. But I still just pick a person at random and I'll give them the alpha key that I have lying around. So if you want to enter the giveaway, that's what you gotta do. Be subscribed publicly, comment down below with a name for this building. That's all. That is all. And you know, if you want to leave a like on the video, that's just, you know, for, I don't know, for extra karma points, that'd be cool too. That'd be really cool of you. We're gonna go back out with that done. There you go. Right, we're gonna continue our tour. So this is another viewing building. I used a lot of the same materials all over because I prefer this type of material. The wood, the black metal, the glass. I really like that. And also creates more unity. And here you go. Here guests can look into, you know, they can stick their heads like this. And they can look into the other Lambeo exhibit. We're gonna fly in though. Oh, he's wading in the water. That's so cute. What are you doing over here? You look suspicious. Yeah, that really does look suspicious. Okay. Anyway, there you go. So another cool Lambeo exhibit with a lot of rocks in the background. I went with like this, or try to at least, with a little bit of a layered coloration. I mean, there were only 2 colors of rocks that I felt really suited the Badlands. But when you look at Badlands, when you look at the pictures of it, you know, the rocks, they have these layers to it. So I sort of tried to recreate that. Obviously, in limited fashion, but that was the inspiration that I used. Here we have the canyon, so we're gonna go back over here. Going down. Alright, so we have little pond over here and another viewing platform. This is, whoa, very up close and personal. This exhibit is much too small. I realized that after I completed it. I do apologize to PETA, sincerely. The game is paused, so they don't need a lot of space. But yeah, this exhibit was a little bit too small. That's just, that's my mistake, whoopsie daisies. But I do think it's pretty nice. I just, if I'd had any forethought, I would have upscaled this quite a bit. But yeah, oops, my bad. Alright, here we go. More information, a guest section, more Z fighting. And we're gonna exit the Lambeo Badlands. And this is actually towards the Museum of Generic Things. So this is the back of the museum over here. The museum is the first big building I've built, and I'm actually not gonna lie, I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's pretty cool. It like arches over the river over here, which I think is pretty nice. It has like this walkway in between the two sections. We'll get a better look at it when we go to the other side, actually. We'll do that real quick. I say quick, but you know, the camera moves at the pace the camera moves at, okay? So hold on to your butts. There, so another entry point for the museum. I'm gonna go around so you can see it from all angles. We have a dead tree. I just thought that was cool having the dead tree over there. Here, this is the front. We have a side entrance over there. And now let's fly up so you can see sort of the entire structure. There you go. So there's the tower over here, the main part of the museum, I suppose, the walkway across, and then we have this entire section which slopes down and could potentially, you know, even extend underground. So yeah, it's a pretty big building, and I'm fairly proud of it. I'm fairly proud of how it came together. I think it's pretty cool. Now another thing I want to show you, and we actually have to go back here. We're almost at the final part, but we have to take a little bit of a side tour. Oh, I forgot to add a sign over here. This is supposed to say staff only. Whoa, we have an autosave. No crash. That's good. That's good. So we're gonna go, like this is for staff only, so guests would not be allowed to go here. You can already see the hatchery over there. Again, same thing I've done in more places is I've expanded upon the buildings we have by building around them, and I think this is pretty cool. So what I've done is I've extended the hatchery, or the nursery in this case, into a sort of half built into the mountains research facility. I just figured that would be something that we have some stuff growing on the path. That's fine. I just figured that would be something that a facility like this would have. So here we have the security gate. We're a little high up. There you go. So this is where we would scan our ID. The gates would open. We could go in over here. And, you know, this open section is out in the open, obviously, but the rest of the building, you just, if you use your imagination, it goes into the side of the mountain. So I'll fly up to show you. We have a water feature in the middle. Oh, there. So over here on the right, we have the existing building in the game, which is the nursery. And I've attached that to this section over here, which is, you know, all of research. I guess this would also maybe be where like a little medical center would be for accidents with guests or staff or stuff like that. You know, anything like that. We have a little guest section over here on a rooftop terrace. I think it was, I think it's pretty nice. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Here you go, research. All right, so that's just a little aside. Alright, so we have the museum on our left, and what we have on our right is one of our most thrilling attractions in the park, and that is the zip line. So you can see a tower over there, you can see the wires, and there's the other tower on the other side. I'll just cheat and go up like this. There, and guests can zip line across the Edmontosaurus exhibit, which turned out to just be one giant exhibit because I got lazy. This was at the end of 80 hours, okay? So the Edmontosaurus exhibit is really huge, extends really far back, but I thought it was really cool to add an attraction to it. So yeah, this is the zip line, and guests can go from here all the way over there, and it would take them back into the T-Rex Kingdom. That's the first Tyrannosaurus exhibit right there. We'll just go back over here. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Going back down. Alright, so here we are in the Edmonton Hills. Now, I asked on a community post on the channel what you guys thought the Edmontosaurus section should be called, and most people suggested something with Edmonton in the name because Edmontosaurus was named after the town of Edmonton. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm assuming I am, but you never know with me. So that's why I went with Edmonton Hills, and the exhibit for the Edmontosaurus is hilly, so that's how that all tied together. So here we have the modern viewing pagoda with a little thing going under it as well. Oh, that's down. We gotta go up. Yeah, those stairs were kind of painstaking to make, but I managed. Going further up. There you go. So guests, if they have the stamina, if they have the calf muscles to make it, they can go all the way up here. And they're gonna have a really cool view of the park. So there you go. There. Well, this would be like the suicide point. But we have the entry section over there. Our cute little mural is visible from here. The bridge, T-Rex exhibit right there. We can even see the Styracosaurus exhibit a little bit. We can see the big circular building that is as of yet unnamed. And on the other side, wow, yeah, we've definitely killed ourselves now. There you go. We can see over there, where in the distance there is the park. The resort, I should say. I don't know what it's called, but like little cabins. It's a park of cabins where people can spend the night if they just pay enough money. And we can look into the Edmontosaurus exhibit over here as well. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, and we can go out on a limb. Sorry. All right, going back down, back down, back down, back down. We're not supposed to be here. Yeah, it doesn't match the other buildings in terms of styles. I sort of like, I tried by adding these light wood rosters, but yeah, it doesn't match. But it was a pretty complicated build. I'm fairly proud of how it turned out, so I'm not getting rid of it. I'm just not. I like it. Okay, we're gonna move on. We are in the Edmonton Hills. There are 3 places where we can look into the Edmontosaurus exhibit. This wall's actually pretty high. I'm still too high. There you go. So people can take the zip line to look at the Edmontos. Here we have the Edmonto skull decoration. It's not my best skull. We have this section over here with glass where they can see them trot back and forth. He moved. That scared me. Hold on. Let's look away. Let's look at him. Oh, that's weird! Huh. Huh. I see you! Sorry. Okay, we're just gonna move on. And then it's a long path over here. We walk along the river. Can I speed this up? I can. Oh, that's a blessing. There, and we have yet another viewing platform recycled from the rest of the park. And this overlooks this section of the Edmonton Hills. So yeah, this just one really big yeah, oh, that's so creepy. Oh my god, it's like they're plotting something and like they're acting all innocent when you look over. It's so weird. Anyway, I could have and should have given all 3 types of Edmontosaurus their own exhibit, but this section of the park didn't end up being big enough for that, and I didn't want to reconfigure stuff to make it work, so I ended up just chucking them all into one exhibit. But it's a pretty cool exhibit. I like it. This might be my favorite Edmonto right here, in terms of the skin. It's really cool. And here we have another double noms restaurant. And that's the other way to look into the exhibit. Just like so. Pretty cool. If I say so myself, I mean. Here we have a little section. I forgot to add benches. But this would be, you know, where people can sip a drink. And then we can go over here. And you can really tell that I was just ready. I felt completed. So there's no decorations on this side. But we're going to quickly move over. Because the last part of the park... And this is actually the back entry. I'll show you the front entry as well. But yeah, this is where if guests can rent a little house, a cabin. Well, it's not that little. They're very luxurious. They can rent a cabin so they can stay overnight because even though it's a small park, it is on a remote island, I'm assuming. So it does involve travel. So it would just be nice for guests to be able to stay here and then have be refreshed for the rest of their stay. I hope they're gonna fix that the foliage tool, it shouldn't spawn trees on top of the path like this. Sorry about that. But yeah, there are 3 different styles of modern cabins over here. So this is the first one. There's even interior. It really reminded me of my Sims days. I didn't spend too much time on it. Here we have like an open fireplace with a seating area. We have 2 bedrooms. Here you go, little interior section, dining area, a kitchen, living area, that sort of thing. This is the other style of house. Here you go, outdoor is the living room, kitchen, and this one has 1 bedroom. Where's the bathroom? Oh, I know. Here, bathroom is over here. And obviously there's like nothing in the bathroom, but... And the other style is this one, I think. Yeah. So here you go, and they go in over here. There, stairs, like a loft up there, kitchen, dining room, living room. I should have changed the texture on here or laid down path. Whoopsie. And upstairs. There you go. There's 2 beds. And that's pretty much, yeah. So I made 3 buildings for variation. And then I kept just copying those groups and placed them all around. So you'd end up with a park like this for guests to stay at. Dropped in a T-Rex cafe. There's a little, oh god, I don't know what this is called. What is this called? Comment down below. What is this called? What is this? What am I looking at? I know the Dutch word, but I don't know the English word. In Dutch, it's steiger. I really don't know what it's called. Wow, I'm totally blanking. I don't know. Please comment down below. Please help me. I guess I could Google it later. I do know the Dutch word for it. Anyway, so that essentially concludes the tour. And I'll just fly up so you have a good overview of the park. In conclusion. There, so that is the full park, 80 hours of work. I'm checking the time to see. This tour is going to be an hour long. I'm so sorry about that. Am I going to upload it in 2 parts? I don't know. But I wanted to show you all of the work that I put into it because it was a lot of work. I mean, I had fun with it, but it was a lot of work. And that really is the thing with this game. I commented this on Twitter as well. This park taking 80 hours means that it took 10 times longer than my longest Jurassic World Evolution park build ever. And I think that's even Even saying that my longest park build in Jurassic World was 8 hours is stretching it. I feel like it's more 6 or 7 hours in reality. But yeah, there's just so much more to do in Prehistoric Kingdom, and that can be a blessing and a curse all at the same time without being contradictory. It's really fun that we have all of this creativity, but it does mean that it takes 80 hours for you to be able to build a park that you can look back on and say, hey, I'm kind of proud of what I did here. And I am kind of proud of what I did here, but it is also a little bit daunting to start all over. But, you know, I hope that with some of your help, with some of you guys' ideas, we can make a cool second park while the game is in alpha, and we'll take it from there. So if you have suggestions for the next park that we'll be building, leave those down below. I'll be doing speed builds and just a regular park building series on that. So I hope you'll tune in for that. And to everyone who's been wondering where I've been absent for like 2, maybe 3 weeks at this point. I am taking a break. I'm not completely back from my break, as in I'm not going to go back to uploading the way I had been before my break, because it was just too much. It was too much. I do want to say thank you to everyone who has reached out to me in support and wondering where I've been, and wishing me well, and all of that sort of stuff. That's super, super kind of you all. But yeah, I just needed a little bit of a break, and not just from YouTube. I'm actually taking a break from my real job as well. So yeah, there's stuff going on. And I was just pushing through until it sort of all fell apart, I suppose. But slowly I'm starting to remember that even though YouTube is work, it's still fun. And it's a creative outlet, and it connects me with this great community of people. 41,000 people at this point, so that's just a really cool thing. So I knew I have to come back to this. So I won't be abandoning you. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna keep going. We have a park building series for Prehistoric Kingdom coming up. I have tons of stuff for Jurassic World Evolution still planned. For the Isle as well. But yeah, I'm just gonna take it a little bit slower for the foreseeable future, and I hope that you'll still enjoy the content that I put out in the meantime. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's been a very long video. I apologize for that. But again, I just wanted to show you this park for the fans of this game, and hopefully you found something in there that you found inspiring. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy the game.